Welcome back to the second installment of Red Ivan, the Monster, and Evil Genius 2. Last time we left off, we were putting in some more stuff here in the casino, and eventually I want to expand the casino to be this whole front portion of the base. This is dig-outable, so is all this, so on and so forth. The only things that aren't able to be dug out are the very darkest parts of your base. This right here, as you see, that can't be dug out, but any other color can. So just keep that in mind when you build your own base, stuff like that, because it's important, especially if you want to do decent base design, stuff like that. It will be a little while before I actually get my main corridor into my base fixed and changed. So it'll probably be a third, fourth, fifth episode, something like that, when I'll start showing you how to create trap hallways and stuff like that. But as of right now, we see that the 10 guards that I have taken out batons from the club rack. So if any intruders get spotted by the camera here or the camera here, they will immediately react from the guard table and enter into the hallway. And I've got my evil genius here. And part of the reason why that is because as enemy forces of justice come into your base, you wind up in a situation where they will camouflage themselves before they enter, and depending on what level of minion you have, so as an example here, the last minion that you're able to get, minion type of the muscle, is the Hitman, who has one of the highest chances to discover disguised enemy forces of justice. However, with your evil genius, he's able to discover them without any problem. So I have him stationed here for right now until I get my intersectum built, because as the forces of justice come in, they might be picked up by the cameras, but it will not alert the guards to go and attack that intruder. Instead, they'll be able to walk just about halfway into the hallway here. My evil genius will spot them. It'll immediately remove their disguise. Cameras will pick them up. Soldiers will come out. Boom. And now we've got a solid fight on our hands, so to speak. So, all right. So next thing I'm going to work on, and I've got these lockers going so I can get some more population cap. Each one of these lockers represents three more minions you can have in your base. So all I gotta do now is just finish the last side quest here.
New optional objective.
Which is, if it ain't broke.
You? Yes,
We'll start that. We'll go ahead and build out our training room a little bit, because we're gonna need it. Do that, we'll confirm. Down another valet station here. It's always good to have two of Rurus. You're not getting any more food. You're doing the most. I'm trying to tape something right now, sweetheart. No. You're gonna get fat. You will get fat. You will. Go get your ball. I'll throw it for you. Go get your ball. There. Sorry, I had to feed my dog. She's a fat cow, apparently. So, basically, as I was saying, you always want to have at least 2 stations in the early game for each one. And as you progress down the minion tree, you want to remove, one for each of the lower ones, because you're not going to need them as much, because you're going to be relying more heavily on the upgraded minions than you will the lower rank ones you start off with at the beginning of the game. So it's just important to keep that in mind, alright?
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
We got our minions going here. Go to the world stage, see what we got going on here. Capture this technician here. And then here, we're going to spend the... we're not going to do that. We're going to use that. And get that started there. Wait on that. Take a look around here. And right now we're researching the steps. First set of stairway will be like right here. That's why I was saying eventually I'm going to remove this over here and this over here, and I'll place that somewhere else, dependent on where I want it to go. So, fact, actually,
Task complete.
bench there, bench there. Move this one over so it's a little concentric here. There, and then right there. Put in some lamps. One right there. Move that potted plant here. Put the other lamp right there. Like I said in my last video, the most amount of gold you can have at one time is 40,000 without having a vault capacity or without having a vault. It's always important to have a vault. However, at the early portion of the game, it is not necessarily necessary. So,
I want that intruder dead if you find them. Find that intruder and kill them. There is intruder to be found. Kill them.
So scared off all of our people so far, the visitors.
We have captured an intruder.
Locked and loaded. I'm thinking. Fine. After this, they won't be back. It's what I dread on my way. Suspects. Open icy. Yeah. On my way. Terminating.
Your minions are
Affirmative.
So one thing that you don't want to do, which is something that you just saw here, is and I did it kind of without thinking. You don't want to set the markers to kill on anybody until they come into your base. Primarily only if you're building stuff in the casino, because as your worker minions come out there, they'll see that they're targeted, and then you'll just wind up with a bunch of dead worker minions. The worker minions are okay at the beginning of the game to, help you, but they're only really good when there's quite a few of them. They aren't able to equip weapons or anything like that. That's purely muscle. In the original, they were able to equip pistols, but only during the time of red alert. However, now they're so fucking weak, they just get beaten to shit and by 2 or 3 punches from forces of justice. So
your minions
keep
are
that in mind.
combat.
Because that kind of stuff is super important.
We've got a new prisoner.
It's an easy way to accidentally build up a bunch of fucking heat when you're not trying to. It's just one of those things. There's a lot of little things that can affect your gameplay in this game. And a lot of them are based around how you manage the forces of justice and your heat on the world map. If you don't manage your heat real well, you'll wind up in situations where you'll be getting swarmed by soldiers, or multiple forces of justice at the same time, or super agents, or any number of things. One thing I do want to note, once super agents become unlocked for yourself or for myself, the way that they wind up at your base is by doing schemes in areas that they're currently at. So let's say, for example, I want to do a scheme here. Well, if there was a super agent in this area and I did a scheme, they would come to my base as soon as the scheme was completed. It's only when the scheme becomes completed, though, however. So understand that. And that basically means that if you go and start a scheme, and it is 99% complete, and you cancel it, it will not bring the super agent, as far as I know. I don't know if they hotfixed it or not. As far as I know, it will not bring the super agent to your base if you've canceled it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's very important to keep that in mind, because my very first playthrough, I got about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours into it, and all of a sudden I was getting swarmed by super agents. And early in the game, they can be exceptionally difficult to deal with. They one-shot worker minions, they'll two-shot your guards, they'll kill your deception minions, all types of stuff. And they'll do a lot of damage to your evil genius. And if your evil genius dies, game's over. So just keep that in mind as you play throughout this game. I'm going to build one more locker here because I want to have a straight 60. There we go. And later on, when I rearrange my bedroom and stuff, I'll have these lockers back to back to optimize the most amount of space for them. So here, build the technician trader. One there, one there. Technicians are the only ones that I think, on occasion, depending on how damaged your base winds up getting, or how often you get invaded and they get killed, and mind you, soldiers will kill all minions inside your base, including technicians, scientists, and so on and so forth. and it's only once they enter into the actual base part. So long as they are outside in your casino, they will scare off tourists, stuff like that. And then as they come in, soldiers will walk in here. As soon as they get inside your base, any minion that comes upon them, they will shoot to kill. So it's just important, because without technicians, you can wind up in a really fucked up situation where all of your stuff starts to break down, catch on fire, and disintegrate. If that happens, obviously you have to pay for it again, and fires spread in this game. So let's say this table catches on fire. If I don't have any technicians, or not enough technicians to repair this and that, and mind you, you need fire extinguishers to put out fires, which are right here. If this table catches fire, nobody comes and puts it out. It'll spread to here, spread to there, all inside the room, spread to the doorway, and then it'll spread from the doorway to anywhere else that's within close proximity of it. If the fire lasts too long, and it doesn't take that long actually, it will wind up destroying the object that it caught on fire. So just keep those kinds of things in mind. It's important for good base economics and making sure you're not throwing away money, stuff like that. So just make sure that you have enough technicians and stuff, because they are just like the workers, they're a very important resource. The workers can fight and all this and that. Technicians cannot fight, actually. But they will transport stuff to areas. So if there are things that need to be transported or put down or picked up, body bags, that kind of stuff, they'll do that kind of stuff without hesitation. They will not, and I repeat, will not dig out areas. So if you're building a room, the only unit that's able to do that is your regular worker minions. So keep that in mind as you play through the game. It's one of those things that as you progress through the game, you'll start to realize, and it's an important facet of the game. If you have any questions, you're always feel free to message me or to put a comment in any of the videos I post out. I play quite a few different games, and there will be quite a few games on this channel. Hopefully people enjoy it. Hopefully you will get some information out of the games that I play, and hopefully I can get you a good head start on the games that I do play. So that way, when you wind up picking them up off Steam or Epic Games or wherever, you should have a pretty easy time getting into it and have a solid knowledge of game mechanics by that time. So I'll show the example. So now he's discovered them because they're disguised. They're within the range of discovery for him. Game automatically pauses when your evil genius discovers someone and goes into combat. Primary reason why is so that way your evil genius doesn't just run up and start getting into a fight and wind up getting killed on accident.
All this violence, it's quite upsetting. Fine.
So, doing the trained technicians part. What we'll do here is we'll start building a little inner sanctum over here. Main reason why is I want to finish this quest and get that done. I'm not going to build it very big, primarily because you don't need to at this point.
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
But once you get it all set up, It's a good place to regen your dude. He's 70 hit points out of, I think, 200 at this point. It also regenerates all of their stats, too, so... It's just one of those things that you should do. You should do it last, after capturing all of the technicians and all that stuff. And then the vault can continue to wait for quite a while, actually. We'll go to research menu. I'm going to want... So there's really no difference. So there's basically no difference between either of the research trees between any of the people. So, and we're gonna research pistols. Primary reason why is because the clubs are good for the very first couple waves and stuff. But beyond that, they wind up being in a situation where you wind up being in a situation where you know, they'll run up to soldiers with clubs, and the soldiers will shoot them dead before they get to them. And that's kind of a problem. So. Just remember that every case that you put down for weapons and stuff has exactly 5 available slots. So just make sure that you know, you keep that in mind and don't overproduce. One thing that I kind of fucked up on my first playthrough with Emma was that I had just built a really large area here, wasn't really concerned about how many guards and stuff I had, and I just put out a bunch of weapons racks, all of them. And they wound up picking up clubs instead of pistols, and then picking up pistols instead of the assault weapons. And then some of them would even pick up the stun weapons instead of the more lethal rounds. And generally speaking, I never really capture anybody. I usually kill them. That's just the way it is for me.
What I need is a strong...
What about...
Your...
Task complete.
Alright, so here's where I get to choose my first henchman. In my personal opinion, alright, Jubei, which is Recruit the Swordsman, Recruit the Fan, which is Janet Bomb, or something like that, Eli Barracuda Jr., and Recruit Your Computer. Out of the 4 beginning ones, 100%, I would say Recruit Your Computer. The main reason why is she has some abilities that allow for her to attract guards to where she is. So, if you wind up sending her somewhere, and let's say you're facing off against Symmetry, who winds up showing up in your vaults, stuff like that, you can send her to the area, activate the ability, and it'll attract all the guards from the guard stations to where she's at. And if she does fall during that time, the guards will still continue to react to that area that they were called to. She's also one of the few henchmen that uses a ranged attack and doesn't just run up to them. That is kind of important. Jubei is good. His ability to react to stuff is really awesome with his Wind Walk, and he has another ability that lets him do more damage than normal. However, if he gets mobbed at any difficulty, he goes down very, very quickly. Same with any of the henchmen. The henchmen are not, you know, the best, so to speak. So, it's just important that you, you know, keep that in mind as you play through the game, because it's one of those things. It's an important facet of the game, and without having it available to you, you'll wind up like me, who recruits, 5 total henchmen, all from the very tier 1 area. And Eli Barracuda's good. It's just, I don't really care for melee type henchmen. That's what I have my disposable fucking guards for. They run up there, get into melee combat with them, and then my henchmen shoot them from a distance. All henchmen can go into melee. I just prefer my henchmen to stay at ranged first and only engage in melee when, say, the guards and stuff are no longer holding the line. It's, in my opinion, it's super important, and it just really helps you be able to go through the game in a much more meaningful fashion, where you're not perpetually, down 2 or 3 henchmen because they got the shit kicked out of them. So, alright, so we'll go recruit the henchmen here. A little more important than the scheme of making money, because I'm going to wind up being close to the 40,000 once they're all done over here. So when I was talking about managing your heat, so this right up here tells you I've got 117 heat total in this area for what is it? Eastern Smash, or for the Smash areas, right? So it's the heat buildup from this, this, and this. And the higher it is, the more investigators, or the more often the forces of justice will show up on your island. So, one way to combat that is, as you complete jobs, you come in, take a look, and see what your heat's at. These purple ones always reduce the heat, some of them for a cost, but a much faster time frame. And then the other ones will cost minions and time, basically. Minions and time at the early part of the game is really nice. Mid to late game and stuff, it can take hours of in-game time sometimes. And that's part of the reason why I keep it on fast forward. Because if you have it on normal, it will take an hour and 15 minutes for you to do that. It's just slow it down when you need to. Otherwise, just keep it on the faster speed. Alright, so now I should have forces of justice on the island here.
Soon they will see red.
We're really getting a lot of fucking tourists. That's one thing you'll notice in the early game. You'll get a lot of tourists, right? But that actually winds up kind of going askew a little bit. Tourists are nice. It's a good way to make extra money and stuff like that. However, as the forces of justice come along, when soldiers come in and stuff like that, you can wind up in a situation where as the soldiers are coming in, it's spooking the tourists to leave, and that will affect how many tourists you have later on into the game. It basically is saying how dangerous your island is, kind of thing. Any fighting or anything like that out in the casino will also scare tourists away. And tourists, they don't make you a lot of money, so to speak, unless you scam them. Which I totally forgot to turn all these on, which makes you a little bit of money every time that a tourist uses one of these facilities here. It's just an important thing. To your early game economy. So we'll go collect
The scheme has succeeded.
my objective here. And don't forget to always check your optional objectives here. There's always something to do. And, you know. So, yeah.
General.
Weak.
So it looks like now I've got to recover personal effects from the world stage, rescue loyal soldiers from the world stage, rescue officers from the world stage, then execute the traitor, hire minions, and then kill the soldiers I've saved, apparently. Well, let's get to it. Oh, one thing I did want to point out is on the research screen, right over here to the left, it tells you how quickly stuff will be researched, right? And that's why I was saying in my first video, it's important to get 2 of each, and then once you get further on, dependent on how fast you want to plow through the research and stuff. And mind you, this is important, if you just start researching up everything, you will get locked out of the next tier of stuff if you haven't progressed in the story far enough. So, it's important to both manage your research along with the story progression if you want to keep them in tandem. Otherwise, you'll wind up like I did on my first playthrough. I was like, oh, look at all this research. Here we go. That's cool. It's cool. I want this. I want that. I was like, okay, well, my first set of research, I want to get all of these digging, because I want to be able to dig out my entire base. As an example, to unlock this feature, you must progress further through the campaign to get the second bit of digging, plus the 5 research points here to unlock it. So just keep that in mind as you play through the game. It's just important to always be paying attention to the things that you need to. Because if you're not, you can wind up in a stickier situation than you'd want to deal with. My first playthrough, there was a lot of times where, I saved the game and just, quit. Because I was already, I had sent Emma off to go fight, she wound up dying or something, any number of mistakes. Just keep that in mind. It's one of those things, basically.
Prepare for power!
So, and then
Awaiting input.
here's Iris. She has reroute power. Iris takes reduced damage for a short time and rapidly heals any damage she has already taken. And that costs 2 morale per second. And then she's got Security Network Link, which was the other one that I was talking about. She acts as a camera. When activated, Iris functions as a security camera for a short time.
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
Apparently we're under attack somewhere.
You have a command? Calculating optimal route.
Apparently soldiers can just come in through over there.
Bio converting.
Normally they,
Security lockdown initiating.
This would be more fun.
You have 0 seconds.
We will crush them. You lack discipline.
As you see, they came out with their billy clubs and just beat the shit out of all.
Task complete.
That's what I was saying about the
Being well rested is good for fighting.
use of the Iris unit. As you saw, I just activated the ability, and bam! She started drawing all the guards to her, and then boom, murder them. So, also, your henchmen have a much higher chance to discover
Advance that intruder found and killed.
intruders, more so than your minions. And it's just one of those things to keep in mind as you use your henchmen,
Iris unit with compliance.
because if you keep that in mind, it's much easier to handle incoming forces of justice. As you see, Iris is shooting them from a distance.
Task
Super easy. Once you get your first henchman, the game becomes a whole lot easier than it was. Oh. So, the kill soldiers apparently was the 5 guys that came in from the side of my base. So I guess probably they still come from the front side of your base instead of the helipad. Because that was kind of odd. I've never seen that before. Alright, what am I doing here? Oh, I don't have enough workers. Wait this second. Alright, so here's one bad thing that's going on here. I'm running out of the lower workers to do jobs and stuff like that on the world screen. So I'm going to put out some more more lockers to start dealing with that.
You're running out of gold. Maybe rob a bank?
Alright, we're going to expand my broadcast room just a little bit here. Not going to expand it too big, but I'm going to need some room here. And I'm going to expand it in behind the jail, too. So that way I've got enough room for 3 more broadcasters. That's important, primarily because I need to rescue loyal soldiers from the world stage, and it's 3 of them. So sometimes you'll have to overtake new areas, and when you do, it's important to have enough broadcast strength to take over the places that you need to. Especially for quests, because you'll wind up with quests in areas where you have no criminal network, and that's not good, you know. Put that there, put that one there.
Your minions are in combat.
I have reports of an intruder in the air. Kill them!
As you see, they ran up and they already killed some of my fucking dudes before they even got there. So that's why it's important to get the pistols and stuff like that. We'll just wait till this one opens up. So I just want to start it and then get to building some more stuff in the base here.
Your scientists have made a breakthrough.
So here, dismiss that. Go over to Armory, Items, Pistol Racks. There we go. I'll take away those two. Should disarm our troops there, and then when they put in the new pistol racks, they should go over and rearm themselves with the pistols. And now instead of them running headlong, they'll go get pistols instead, and then shoot them from a distance. The main reason why I say that is that it's important to understand that as you research the weapons, if you replace them, they'll start using the new weapons instead. Only if they no longer have the billy clubs or lower level weapons available to them. Mind you, when you do recruit the martial artist only uses melee weapons. But by that time, once you have martial artists, you'll have the best melee weapons available in the game. I primarily used martial artists very little, other than on the world map. I felt like they weren't that great of a muscle minion. They're good, it's just they're not...
Minions, seek and destroy this intruder.
I don't know, being able to fire at range and then be able to get into melee combat, in my opinion, is probably more important than just purely being melee. Because in some instances, especially, and mind you, this can happen, you can get invaded by multiple super agents at the same time. Like, all of the super agents at the same time, if you're doing schemes in each area, So, just be wary of that, and if that ever happens, sorry for you, bub. All of the super agents, except for John Steele, they all show up with average or better minions with them. So, not only do you have to fight the super agent, in most cases, you also have to fight the minions that come with them also. So.
You're running out of gold. Maybe steal some from the wild. Command processor online.
So, we'll go over... Oh, we don't have that built yet. Let's build the small stuff first. So there's one of the first quests we gotta do, so we'll scout that one there. There's another one there.
Your minions are in combat.
scout that one. And then that one. And that's all of them. For some reason, the Russian Federation has been created and it's enveloped all of Europe too. And China's enveloped everything from India to Australia. And the United States has taken fucking Greenland. For some reason. Okay, so got done with that research. I want to get the next upgrade. So there's two really important things to make sure that you get. And always research them first. That's power, digging, and then your gold storage. This is the best gold storage that you can get. This one on the end, but it's obviously late game. Other things you want to focus on is this stuff here. This is the computer, gets you intel. Intel is needed to do some types of schemes. You can also get intel from capturing forces of justice. So keep all that in mind. It makes it that much easier, so to speak. So we're going to go ahead and actually research that, where it gives me 2 per every criminal network, I believe.
Not enough gold to complete this construction. Research has begun.
And as you see here, now that I turned to scam minion or scam tourists, I'm starting to gain money. Whereas before, the tourists would actually just lose resolve or skill and leave without, doing anything. So apparently, when you scam tourists, they'll just hang around until they're ready to leave. It doesn't look like they lose anything when you're scamming them. So I guess I learned something new too.
Research has been paused.
So, now that we've opened up these areas... Oh, not yet. Still awaiting. Wait, what the fuck am I doing with my research here? Actually, we will cancel that.
Your goals are almost done.
And... because I'm going to need the computer before I'm going to need the extra signal strength. So we'll do computer first, and then we'll do signal strength.
Research has begun.
I command you, ignore this intruder if you see them.
A new criminal network.
Find that intruder and kill them.
A new criminal network has been established.
Yeah, see, because I need intel for each one of these here.
A new criminal network has been established. Threat identified. Stand by for elimination.
Alright, so... what am I going to do here?
Not enough gold to complete this construction.
And do here, that there, that there,
Your vaults are almost full.
and now that separates this hallway. And I've got the two cameras here, so as the forces of justice come in, they'll have to be stopped right here, giving my guards plenty of time to get over there and take care of it.
Your vaults are almost full.
Guess we'll expand the rec area too.
Your vaults are full. Your vaults are full. A scheme has succeeded. Research has been paused. Research has resumed. Research has been completed.
Alright.
There is intruder to be found. Kill them! Find and eliminate that intruder.
Alright, so this is getting almost done here.
You're running out of gold. Maybe spend less, or steal more.
We'll build another couple counters here. And that's all we'll want for right now, at least. We'll build one more of those there. Then we'll build... Whoop. Whoop. God damn it. I'm so used to playing League of Legends that I just wind up derping sometimes.
This spirit builder will drain all your power supplies.
Will it now? I guess then we'll have to just build more fucking area for me to put power plants on. There.
You're running out of gold. Deleting. Purging unwanted files.
Oh yeah, I got that done now, so we will actually expand. And right now I'm not really concerned about the way that my base looks. Main reason why is I will rearrange it later on into the game once I have all the stuff unlocked for excavating out the areas and stuff. It's just one of those things. You gotta make do with what you got at the beginning to ensure that later on,
You're running out of gold.
you know, you're able to expand in the way that you want to.
You're running low on power. Build more generators. You're running out of gold.
Oh, one thing before I forget here is I wanted to show you the difference in money, right? So over here, this was for 20,000. I believe, for 30 minutes worth of work for six workers. Now, if we come over here, this was 50,000 for 30 minutes worth of work and 6 workers. So at the very beginning of the game, all 4 of these Smash Republic over here, they all have 50,000 each. The United States has got 30,000, I think, and Africa, their level 2 isn't bad. They also have a lot of, I think they're like 35 or 40,000 for 30 minutes. But anything over here doesn't have anything worth the shit early on into the game. So full control over those territories isn't really necessary. They don't make you a whole lot of money. And until you need to go into that area, don't worry about it. But no, I can't research anything yet. Well, guys, that'll be it for right now. I will be back, and I will have more tips and tricks and all that fun stuff for you later on. All right? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.